Michael Mays, Psycho Black. Action activate.
It's me, Gazbot, and this is Action Activate. And if I am Gazbot and this is Action Activate, which it is, then with me as always,
it is I. It is the big dog here to talk about an ending, but also a new beginning.
What?
We're not cutting edge per usual, but we're recent enough where this is a relevant topic. So for those that don't know, there's been a rumor going around for the last few weeks that Super Sentai is over. 50th anniversary happened with Gozuger and it's done.
Right.
Or is it? As of today that we're recording on Tuesday, November 25th, some more concrete details have come out as opposed to a lot of speculation that we've all been going with. So they haven't outright said Sentai is over, but in the slot that Sentai usually is on Sunday mornings in Japan,
Kamen Rider, I think.
I think with Ultraman. I think it's with one of them. I don't remember. But the normal time slot for Sentai for next year is now being booked by a new Metal Heroes series. Space Sheriff Gavon says in this something Infinity. If you scroll down a little bit more. Okay. Too far.
Is there a picture or just the title?
Title. Right.
Here. Space Sheriff Gavon titled Space Sheriff Gavon Infinity. Yeah.
Okay.
The new project has yet to confirm a release date as of this time, but it has been noted that it will be taking over Super Sentai's old time slot. Yes. This likely means it will be ready to premiere not long after Super Sentai ends next year.
So, to me, this seems like, and here's where we get into speculation. Every concrete detail that we have, we're sharing with you. Project R.E.D, this poster came out within this last week. What is it? Is it after Super Sentai? What it seems like is going on. And R.E.D stands for, you can read it and I can't.
Records of Extraordinary Dimensions.
So what I think is happening is a lot of Toku under Toei is going under this umbrella for Project R.E.D. And that, I think, will be a shared universe. To me, it seems like this is similar to, for those that read American comics, there's what's called the Energon universe, where G.I. Joe and this new series Void Rivals and Transformers are all together. This seems like that, but with Sentai, Metal Heroes, and something else, so it's all together. Now, one thing...
But not Kamen Rider.
I don't know. Is Kamen Rider Toei as well?
Yes. Because, I'm bad with remembering this stuff, but there's been lots of Super Sentai Kamen Rider crossovers. Not so much with the Ultraman. Ultraman is Subaraya, which is different.
True.
So I think Space Sheriff, the Metal Heroes, Kamen Rider, and Super Sentai are all Toei. But my impression, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, is that Kamen Rider is the most successful of these currently.
I believe so as well.
So maybe it would behoove them to not incorporate it, maybe just make guest appearances, but what else would go in there besides the Metal Heroes? Well, I guess the other Metal Heroes aside from Gavon, like Kakaida and things like Kakaida. Okay.
So one thing, shout out to us. So yes. Years back, we went through kind of an era where we did a lot of interviews with a lot of different people, whether in Power Rangers or involved in the Power Rangers fandom. And one person we talked to was Scott Zillner. He runs Power Morphicon and owns it. And he shared a nice tidbit that we can reference back to for this, where he said,
Thumb, activate.
That guy right there.
Those that don't know.
He shared a tidbit at the time. Please go back and watch it just because I'm going off of my memory of that interview at the time. But he was saying that when they originally did the deal for Power Rangers, one of the big things that was kind of like unheard of is that Power Rangers could use Super Sentai stuff in perpetuity. And I remember he drove that word in perpetuity because it's a very big deal. And
Yeah.
it's a thing that Toei definitely regretted because it also limited things. And one of the things that I've seen be brought up when other people have talked about this specifically is part of the reason it's very hard for us in America to see Sentai is because it conflicts with Power Rangers. And I
That
think
makes
it's
sense. Yeah.
I think it's in the contract where they can't air in certain countries that would conflict with Power Rangers. So by them putting Sentai under a new name, but same kind of flavor and genre
Yes.
under Project Red or whatever the new title of this is going to be, they now get to use Sentai
Yes.
and change it a little bit and then air it for people like us who
Uh,
want to see it in the West.
You've done more research into this, like the goings on, than I have, but that was my first thought. Was that if they were ending it, fine, they're ending it, but ending it, and then Project Red is showing up, which kind of looks like another Toku show. Pardon me. That was my exact thought of like, is this? I mean, maybe they wanted to refresh anyway, but a good way to get out of any of those legal entanglements. And here's something even further down the road. The term Super Sentai kind of is this nebulous. It wasn't nebulous. It isn't nebulous now, but it was nebulous. Where like in the beginning there was a Sentai team, and maybe people called it Super Sentai, but like the sort of legacy and continuity started somewhere several years after these shows started. Then
Yes.
retroactively, they're like, oh, well, let's go all the way back to Go Ranger, and that was the first Super Sentai, and kind of package it all together.
Yeah.
With that history, let's say 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, Project Red is still going, it's still a thing. I could see a thing where they're like, you know what? All that Super Sentai is Project Red too. So Project Red is 70 years old now, like doing some similar thing where they bring it all under one umbrella once legally it would make sense and everything like that.
Or they could be separated enough where they could just ask Hasbro, like, yo, is it cool if we break this? It's not really affecting you anymore because you're doing their own thing. And maybe behind closed doors, something gets agreed
Yeah,
upon.
that's what I'm saying. At some point, it won't matter as much legally, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, that also makes sense because for a while it was hard to get Japanese shows at all. Then it was hard to get them in a timely manner. But lately, there's been like almost day and date releases for a lot of shows, a lot of anime, for some Kamen Rider, for some Ultraman, not Sentai, because of these deals. And so, and you're right, Power Rangers could sell in every country, and Sentai just Japan, maybe China. Like it's very limited. So yes, ratings are down. Yes, they probably wanted to refresh, but I agree with you that a lot of this is legal maneuvering.
Yeah. Me, I'm excited. The first thing I thought of when I saw that Gavon was going to be this first potential series for this is you and I watched, was it the Gavon movie or the Sharavon movie?
It was Gavon. It was new at the time. Now it's probably like 10 years old.
Yeah.
It was the refresh. I forget what it was called, but it was the new Gavon,
Mm-hmm.
and he teamed up with the old Gavon, and it had Sharavon and Shider in it as well.
And Esteban.
Oh yeah. But
And
it was the Gavon movie that they were in.
And it is funny because you have Metal Heroes toys and I don't, unfortunately. It's something I hope to rectify someday, but we'll see. And I remember we watched that movie and it did everything it needed to where I'm like, these are so cool. I wish I had toys of them. That gold guy's really cool and he's brand new for this movie. Is there a figure of it? And there wasn't. And I was so upset and gave the movie like half to a full rating down because I'm like, you introduced this brand new cool guy for this movie and you didn't make any toys of him? Shame on you.
It is weird too, especially because around that time they made Shider and Sharavan, and they had two Gavons. And I regret I only got one. I think I didn't get the new. I forget if I have the original and not the new, or the new and not the original. Very similar. A lot. Sorry, I'm burping. I'm drinking soda here. A lot of the difference is just like in the design on their chest, but it is weird that it wasn't like, well, they didn't make any figures. It's like, no, they had figures for all the legacy characters, the new guy, but just not. What was the name again? The gold one?
Esteban,
just not Esteban. And I wanted that too, but I at least felt like, well, I've got three. That's not so bad.
Yeah. No, it's one definitely worth checking out, especially if you like Toku, Power Rangers, whatever. Really, we're going to be a little less rambly than normal because honestly, there's only so much to say. But to me, I like kind of like you said that there's been a resurgence in the last 5 years of definitely Japanese culture in America, pop culture, I should say. And the fact that this opens up us getting more shows that we would be interested in and having them be accessible is really cool. And I'm excited for that.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I'm just looking at some people talking about it on Reddit. One person was saying that Toei's this is like a second-hand hand account. But Toei's announcement on their website says that it's a derivative or in the frame of Super Sentai, but it's focused on the Red Hero. There's also a bit of after 50 years of history. So like supposedly there is verbiage and framing that it's like it's kind of connected, but legally
Like a soft
distinct.
reboot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess so. They're calling this Red. I don't know if they're literally named Red Hero, but they're referring to it as Red Hero for now, at least.
Yeah.
It does want to make me wonder if it's a bit of an anthology series too, like not in the way you're speaking of. And I'm not saying that it's not what you're talking about. You're talking about like a shared universe, and maybe it's a shared universe, and maybe it's episodic and they run into each other. But it also makes me think of like before Ultraman, there was Ultra Q, and there were many kaiju and characters from that ended up like persisting. But it was almost like a Twilight Zone episode where it's like, oh, here's a kaiju, here's an alien, here's a superhero, and I wonder if it's because they're saying records of extra dimensions. Maybe this guy's like the Crypt Keeper. He's like shows up in a new dimension, something crazy's happening, and like so maybe he's like a framing device for all these different things.
Yeah. I also hope, if it is that sounds great, or it could be like a Japanese version of Power Rangers Hexagon, for those that know, what originally was supposed to be Ninja Storm, where it's a Power Rangers headquarters and other teams, intermingle and team up, and it can be that with Metal
That would
Heroes.
be cool, but I feel like it'd be difficult to use the legacy characters.
But that's what I'm saying is you lean more on the Metal Heroes part, and then maybe you have like a Go Ranger in there or something you can kind of skirt around.
So you could say like, yes, there is a Sentai hero in it, but this isn't Super Sentai. Like,
yeah, because that's the whole thing is like
framing if Wolverine shows up in an Avengers movie, it doesn't make it an X-Men movie.
Exactly. Like with this, I think really it's the verbiage that I think is the issue and not the characters. Because you could say, I am from Aqua Ranger, and you take out the Super Sentai part, and you're like, he's from Aqua Ranger. What do you want to say? Like,
that was and that when he wasn't a Super Sentai originally, as we just said. So.
Yeah, so stuff like that. So, all in all, I think it's net positive. I don't see any reason to be concerned about it in a negative way. I have seen some clickbait articles be like, it's a sad day for Power Rangers fans because the thing that brought about Power Rangers is over. It's like, get out of here.
I've seen that too. And one that, and it's like, we have a Power Rangers was canceled a few years ago. So it's like,
it wasn't even officially canceled. They just stopped it and went, we're just not going to talk to you about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Similar to how they did the toy line. And I guess the other thing is one of the Rangers comics is ending. Prime, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Prime's ending with issue 16, which
again is a bummer, but there are people who are pulling all these together and being like, this is the end of Power Rangers and Super Sentai across all medium in perpetuity. It's like, it's not that. We're in a lull for sure. And yeah, I think the fact that they're rebranding for Super Sentai, it doesn't bode well for Power Rangers. It's indifferent to Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But it bodes well for Japanese tokusatsu.
Thank you for bringing up the Power Ranger comic thing, because I forgot, but that's one I haven't been keeping up with it. I read a little bit of it, and I do plan on reading it, but now that it's going to end, I'm just going to get a collected edition of it. And my hope is that they will still make Power Ranger comics and not like just a bunch of one-shots like they've been doing, where it's like, this is a Rita's Rewind tie-in one-shot. This is a Halloween special.
Well, they've also been doing the team-up spin-offs, which I've been like reading. Well, you too, like the Power Rangers Turtles, and
no, those I love. Yeah,
things like the Power Rangers Godzilla and like that kind of stuff. But do they not have any single ongoing that Ranger Academy? Did that end?
I think it did end. Now that you brought it up, yeah.
So that might have been the last ongoing that was currently happening.
Yeah, Ranger Academy and Power Rangers Prime were the two series that came out after the main Mighty Morphin / Power Rangers line.
I think unless Boom is losing the license, there's no way they're not gonna in a couple months be like the brand new Power Rangers Infinite #1 or something, because why would you not?
So that's the fear, is that Boom may be losing the license, and then who knows what's going to happen, because Boom has shown love and attention to it.
Yes.
And
yeah, if Boom loses the license, that's a bummer. But otherwise, I'm not worried about this ending, and they'll start a new series.
Here's my call shot. I think that if Boom loses the license, it either goes to one of two companies. It either goes to Marvel or it goes to Dynamite.
Skybound.
No, I don't think it goes to Skybound.
Skybound just took Transformers. Why wouldn't they try to do the same thing with Power Rangers?
Because I don't think they're going to tie it into that universe, because Skybound, the animated series from the Energon universe, is going to be on Amazon Prime. They've announced it. That is officially happening. if the rumors are true and there's a Power Ranger series from on Disney Plus, I think similar to other Disney cartoons that Dynamite makes comics of, it would either go there or it would be under Marvel Comics under the Disney umbrella.
Oh, because Dynamite does like Gargoyles and Lilo and
Darkwing
Stitch.
Duck and
Yeah.
Disney villains and stuff.
I don't know. I haven't read enough of those to know if I read one issue of Gargoyles and it didn't thrill me. It wasn't terrible, but I was
I
like,
heard all of those series are pretty good to very good.
okay. Who does Thundercats right now?
Dynamite.
It is Dynamite. Okay, well, I don't want Boom to lose it, but I guess if Dynamite might do an okay job. I was more excited about Skybound because even though I'm way behind, as much as everybody liked the IDW stuff for Transformers, people were like, "This Skybound stuff is amazing," you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well,
It's definitely worth reading. But
let me-
Super Sentai over, not totally bad is the moral of the
Yes.
story.
I misread something. I thought Disney Plus had something to do with the new Sentai, but they're talking about the Power Ranger series.
Yeah.
That theoretically is coming out at some point.
Be awesome if just Hasbro acknowledged it outside of Reignition. Speaking of Reignition, actually, we'll end on this.
Yeah.
I watched a couple episodes of Power Rangers this week with my family. And
Reignition or something else?
yes and no. So first, I put on an episode on Netflix of the regular, good old-fashioned ported series, and my wife went, "Oh my God, why is the camera going like this? I feel nauseous. This is terrible." And I went, "There's a fair statement, but we're still watching it."
Was it during the action scenes or all scenes?
No, anytime the camera panned, you'd get this weird, like, wavy.
Oh, because the scan made it. It has like a visual defect or artifact, an artifact.
Yeah, it was not great. So that I acknowledged. And then I was like, just for fun, let's look
Giggles.
at the same episode in Reignition. Within 2 seconds, you're good. Oh goodness, this is so much better.
And to be honest, that's the sort of thing that should be corrected. But here's my question. There was I forget what it was called, but the one that came out right before Samurai when Disney took over from Saban. What was that called?
I forget.
Okay, well, for those that don't remember,
I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah,
but for those that don't, there was a re-release of Mighty Morphin after Saban sold it to Disney. That was before they had their first Disney season, which was Samurai. And my memory of it was cleaned up and it had like new comic booky kind of intros and stuff. But I guess what I'm thinking is, wasn't that one cleaned up so it wasn't all wavily like the original one, or did that version still have that?
I don't know. That used to be its own season for Mighty Morphin on Netflix, and then that got replaced with Reignition.
Gotcha.
So
I would
can't
be
check.
interested for those that know, because in my mind it's sort of like we bring it back to Star Wars all the time, but like the special editions, there's some stuff they did right where they cleaned up certain scenes and tightened up, and then some stuff like, why'd they do that?
Yeah.
And I guess in my memory, and I could be wrong, that re-release was like, oh, they cleaned some stuff up, but didn't fundamentally change it. And then Reignition is like a lot of weird AI.
No, they
artifacts.
changed it in 2010. That's why it was so maligned and forgotten.
What did they change other than the opening?
So the opening was a little bit different, but
Yeah.
in the middle of episodes, they would do that comic booky like Batman 66 stuff where like there'd be a fight and it would cut to black and a word bubble that said "bam," and it was like them and it was awful.
I forgot
Or they
about
do the weird, like, I'm half remembering this, but like, the old 90s effect where you would like repeat something, like you'd freeze something and then repeat it. It was like that kind of thing.
Like stuff you'd get on a camcorder out of like the 4 like choices you have or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. It was terrible. I remember watching it and being offended.
So you think Reignition is better than whatever that was?
It is, because it's literally just cleaned up. And we put that on, and then we actually watched an episode tonight, the season 3 Christmas episode. And my wife went, "Oh, can you put that new version of this on?" And I went, "That new version is only for season 1. This is season 3. And yeah, had the waves and stuff, but a fan favorite of mine. So yeah, check it out on Netflix if you want to get new people to watch Mighty Morphin and not think it is visually hurting their eyes.
All right, so that is a good place to end it. Next week we're gonna be back with more Ninja Kids, or what are we
Probably.
doing? Okay, unless another Beast Hunters drops, which
It doesn't. They said every 3 months.
Okay, so unless it drops, which it won't, we'll be back next week with Beast Hunters. Meanwhile, this is gonna go up on Thanksgiving. So for those that celebrate, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. And if you don't celebrate, I hope you're enjoying whatever meal you're eating, and I hope you're eating more of it than normal.
I mean, I just hope you're enjoying it the appropriate amount.
Nah, you need a little bit extra.
No, but if that's part of the horrible celebration we have, but if they don't have that
It's
celebration,
not a
you don't-
celebration. You just eat a little bit more that day.
I got something. You know what? I'm going to go to credits and I'll tell you after the credits.
Okay.
To the power.
To the power. Yeah.
Okay, this is definitely Thanksgiving here. Just
There you go.
we have a small Thanksgiving at my house, just 4 people. But I was with my kid shopping, and I was thinking about. For some reason, I like the tin macaroni and cheese. Like I like Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
I like good homemade macaroni and
You're
cheese.
Stoker's guy.
Yeah, like there's something about like good. It's like better, like cafeteria grade, but better than cafeteria grade.
Yeah.
And I don't get it all the time, but at like Christmas or Thanksgiving or like I like it there. So I was gonna get one of those, and I saw something I'd never seen before, where it was like macaroni and cheese with corn souffle mixed something in a big tin tray for $8 that you put in the oven. And I was with my kid, and she likes mac and cheese. I'm like, hey, this mac and cheese has corn in it and like stuff on top. Would you eat that? She's like, that looks good. I'm like, all right, we're getting it. So I got a small tray of mac and cheese, like a personal one in case that sucks. But I don't know, some mac and cheese and corn thing I got at there's a store called Ralph's near us.
Oh yeah. Grocery store.
So there you go.
Well, let us know next week how your corn mac and cheese souffle mega mix
I will.
reignited.
Reignited. See ya.
Later.